this album we're working, he was like, man, this man a big Hano. That's what he said. I was like, whoa, you get it.
That's nice.
Yeah.
My new debango with some big black chick for back boy Elikaco. The blacker the berry, the
Yeah,
sweeter the
I got
juice.
the link.
It's a
Oh,
different
oh,
kind
he
of artist in the
generated
room.
them.
You're looking at a young black, ambitious young king out of Cameroon. You keep us up from head to toe, wait till mango do. I like Kilimanjaro. Fuck around, kill him as child. Flow so natural, far from the regular. Not trying to be popular. Number one hustler, African-represented.
We're live already, so let me send the link to Betran.
Okay.
Then I transform to a man with a vision, a man on a mission, a man with a goal. On the max, get set, ready, let's go. I keep getting high like Kilimanjaro.
Yeah, shout out to Estelle. Estelle is my in-law. She's in Yaoundé, and she's also a very big fan. So she's saying that, hey, Salatiel, I'm a big fan. It's in the comment section.
Okay. Shout out to her.
Like Kilimanjaro. Like Kilimanjaro. Like Kilimanjaro.
Man, you guys are doing a wonderful job. Like, there are people out here that try to write exams, they go to work, wake up early, very early in the mornings.
Need a label. Yeah, you were saying sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I was saying that from my experience, like in my circle, there are a lot of people that the life here is abroad in particular is just working, writing exams. So when you guys release songs like this, it takes you back to like where you're from, and it's like a fuel. So it's like it pumps a lot of energy into one. Because you see, like, seeing people that you knew when you were growing up doing things, it's amazing. It's like petrol.
It's like traveling back home.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to see me sitting on that throne. I keep getting high like Kilimanjaro.
Okay, so I sent to Bertrand. Yeah. I sent him the link to the Facebook one so he can share. You guys can share on your own social graph, your pages and the rest, so we too will share. And as people are joining, we'll keep chatting. So that's how we flow.
Okay.
So I sent Bertrand that link. I can send to you too. I'll send to you.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, if you send it to Betran, then it's good.
Okay. All right. So Esty says beautiful music as usual.
Thanks, man.
Oh, this is my favorite song in this album.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if people can do that. I don't know if people are allowed to do that, man. Man, this song, man, it's well, we'll talk about it when the time comes.
I'm trying to go away from the normal.
Yeah, man, it looks like you have like deep roots in reggae. It looks like you have like deep roots in reggae. So you're trying to show it. I don't know if you're trying to show it or you're trying to just, I don't know, but it's escaping, man.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pick up my career as a full-time reggae artist.
Okay.
I think that's what's going to happen. And, what I'm trying to do now is just trying to switch, propose the switch slowly. At the level when I'm completely international, it's not going to be a problem to do a career in reggae.
Okay. Oh wow, I see. But what is it that makes you want to, because this reminds me of Dede Asek. Yeah, so this kind of move you're doing, man, this is the second time I'm seeing it. Dede Asek, right? He's someone that in school he was very smart, and now he is very super smart. So people thought he would go to science. So the guy switched and went and studied arts. So people are like, what? So this move you're saying, to me, it appears like that. People are looking at you and having a view of who you are, and you're like reggae. We're like, what? What is this man talking about?
Listen,
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I started my career before I released my first single in Cameroon. I had already released. I was touring in Europe actually
Yeah.
before I
Wow.
released my first song. Before I released Fat Promo, I
Yeah.
toured in Europe, and I found myself on stage with artists like Jad Cure,
Yeah.
Shaggy, reggae
Man.
festivals, and yeah, stuff like that. So I did a lot of that, and a lot of people don't know about that in Cameroon, about me. So I came back to Cameroon and started doing popular music because I wanted to. I mean, I understood that to be able to get respect out there in the world, because when I went there, I had an album that I was selling back in the days, and it
Yeah.
was a reggae and soul music. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are the two that I'm really deep rooted in. So it was reggae and soul music, and I started selling it, and I tried to propose it to labels and stuff, but I just understood I have to come back home and gain respect. Have my feet on the ground, gain respect back home
Yeah.
before taking it fully out there. But so it's a genre and something that I already understand to a certain level,
Yeah.
more than a lot of people around here. So
Yeah.
that's why you see me doing it, the way I'm
Man,
doing it.
yeah, man, it's something, and you pump in a lot of energy. Like
Oh yeah,
old school reggae is almost a little bit plain, and they
yeah.
add, but you beneath you're putting a lot of strings, like underneath.
Mm.
So there it looks like you're putting, maybe it could be makosa, but you're putting different rhythms underneath. So is this
Oh yeah. I
something
mean,
that, like,
yeah.
is that your plan, man? And why do you decide to do it that way? Are you trying to like add our own footprints to it too, or what?
Yeah, what I'm actually doing is I am reggae is a style that is like the signature style for Jamaican music,
Mm-hmm.
and around the world it's the most consumed black music all around the world.
Okay.
Afrobeat is beginning to come up now, but so far reggae has been one of the most consumed and the most recognized black originated from somewhere other than America.
Yeah.
Reggae is sometimes even more widely consumed in many places than hip hop.
Yeah.
So it's black music. It's black
Yeah.
music, and so what I wanted to do is you cannot compete with pure reggae
Yeah.
like a Bob Marley kind of reggae and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
with the Jamaicans themselves.
Yeah.
And what is it that makes me Cameroonian
Yeah.
in the reggae that I'm doing? So that is when now I come in with these other elements, these traditional drums and
Yeah.
the way I play the instruments,
Yeah.
and then in some of my reggae songs I talk about, I mean, the normal things about our society and stuff, but it's a brand of music that really rocked my early days as a musician and as a producer,
Mm-hmm.
and that I got hooked to the
Yeah.
moment I started music. For sure. Yeah,
Man. Man, again, man, like, also, back in Boya, uh,
yeah,
a lot of people started discovering themselves. Like some went into computers, some went into music, some went into movies and things like that. And a lot of people come in, it's like a sea. They come in, they
yeah.
carry as much as they can in terms of energy and fly out. So it looks like
Oh yeah,
now some of the seeds they were sowing are beginning to like mature, and but now we're in need of like business skills. So you
mm,
it looks like you have like a plan, you have something that's calculated, and you produce, you have a network almost. So
yeah.
how do you do production and also do the business part so that you have a name and you can sustain yourself? I think we should have that conversation so that most people that are trying to start that too, they can see the things that go
Yeah,
in. Yeah.
yeah. Well, for me, my journey has been a journey of not just an artist.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people get into music today and just get into the studio and start singing. That is normal. That's the normal way.
Yeah.
But I got into music as a gospel musician. So if I was to have a plan to do a gospel career, it's not going to be complicated for me because it's another genre that I understood from the beginning of my career.
Okay.
But then I moved on from that, and the first thing I did was, because I had to make ends meet. you know, with life and everything, and the fact that my parents did not want me to be a musician. So at a very early age of 18, 19, I already had my independence as a person, you know, struggling to pay my house for myself, struggling to pay my school fees for myself when I just moved into University of Koya. So uh, because of that, I had to find a way to make money in music. And I was also very interested in music production because being a songwriter, sometimes you want to write songs, you want to produce the songs that you write. Because I had a couple of studio experiences where people could not really match up to my musicality, because before I started going to studio to record a song, I could play the piano, I could play the guitar, I could play the drum. So my songs, I was already writing them with all the music that it needed. And having been a director of a choir which was interpreting some of my songs, so I was doing live arrangements for my song.
You had the lab.
And when I went to so I was doing live arrangements for my songs. So when I went to the studio to produce, I came across a couple of producers that were clicking on Fruity Loops, you know, clicking sounds. And to me, it wasn't making sense. But how can I compose a song which I play from the beginning to the end on my piano or on my guitar? Excuse me. And then I go to the studio and somebody is clicking, you know, somebody is clicking is clicking the notes like ding ding, and not really, it's not giving me that feeling. So I caught an interest. And most of the times when I went to the studio now, what I did was I had to play all the piano for my songs live, you know, do the arrangements myself. And I was like, okay, so what is lacking here is just to understand how to use the software, how to mix these instruments together, and then I might be a producer, and also to make ends meet. So that is how I became a producer. And you know, when you're a producer working in a studio, which is a commercial studio, you start understanding a lot of things about entrepreneurship. Because sometimes my boss Emin Gumba was going to leave me, you know, and I will be running the studio, understanding how to handle clients, understanding how to talk to people, how to network with business to people, you know, how to convince somebody to come and do another album, you know, or how, you know, just understanding one or two things in the business, like in the business form of it. And so that gave me kind of some experience. And then after that, I even when I created, because I came up with the idea of the group That Trill in 2010, we did the Nescafe Africa Revelation competition in 2010, and we won in Cameroon, and then we also represented Cameroon in Senegal, and we were second after Nigeria. So that I was the leader of the group, which meant every business that was supposed to be done between Nescafe and the group, I was the person mostly handling that business, you know. Like I was handling the business within Nescafe and my group, between our manager, who was Chinua Yonke back in the days, and the group, and even investing a lot of my own money that I was making in the studio, being a producer, back into the group, you know, knowing how to handle a group, you know. If I see a t-shirt that I have to buy, I have to make sure I buy 4, because we have 4 members in the group. If I see a shirt, you know, or having our producer and the company giving money for video and the money is not enough, I'll go back to the studio and work and make sure that the money, complete the money, top up the money to make sure that we shoot the video. Sometimes they are coming to shoot video for you and they have sent the video director and there is nobody that is checking for locations, and you know, which is some sort of artist management already. So I was already doing that for myself and my group without knowing. So, I mean, we were going through that, and then came Alpha Beta Records while I was still with That Trail. Came after Alpha Beta Records. I started producing in my house, you know, having clients, producing albums, making ends meet, buying equipment, and having a plan of growth. Like, okay, by this time, I should be able to have this particular kind of speaker. Okay, next time I'm traveling to Europe, I should be able to buy this mixer, this, like really building everything from scratch without any support, like nobody coming and saying this is 1 million Salatiel take and sustain Alpha Beta Records. I never had that in my life, in my career. So it was a bit different for me. So I was like, okay. Then when I started already, I started doing tours in Europe and reggae music and all of that. Like I was saying in the beginning, so I did not want to start an Afro pop career.
So when I started producing Mr. Leo as the first artist in Alpha Beta Records, in the beginning, Mr. Leo even had no manager,
Yeah.
So I had to work on designing Mr. Leo's career. Mr. Leo too is a hustler, and he's the kind of person which,
man.
I mean, you guys talk about one, and when he goes out and is executing one, by the time he comes back, you guys will not be on two. You'll be going to four because he would have figured out two and three by himself,
Yeah, right.
and even bring it to you and be like, oh, look, I figured out two and three. Let's think about four.
Yeah.
So Mr. Leo is that kind of person. But it helped me, to know how to manage an artist and an artist's career. So I was managing Leo. I remember even somebody reminded me the other day on the radio. That was a guy from Paris, from Lyon, from France. And he reminded me that in 2017, he was reminding me like he saw me with Mr. Leo. 2017, we're talking, I already had Fab Polo was a hit. Ça s'est pas ici was a big song. I was
sorry, Fab Polo is my wife's favorite. She said that's one brought her to your path. And Fab Polo.
Oh,
so she even has it in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, continue. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I was out there with all these hit songs and being an artist myself.
Yeah.
Popular artist, not as popular as Mr. Leo back in 2017, but because Mr. Leo back then had Jamais Jamais song like Jamais Jamais and was just from releasing the song with Hero. So I mean, Mr. Leo was really the big deal, and it was his tour. I happened to be in Europe at that particular time for personal business, so his manager did not have a visa to travel, and I went around the tour with Mr. Leo as a manager.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Like doing the business part of it. Mr. Leo performing on stage, and I am standing in front like the manager is supposed to do, negotiating the business, handling the financial transactions, negotiating movements and stuff. So I went to Europe as a manager for Mr. Leo. And having managed a career like Mr. Leo, or having a career like Daphne's career, when Stevens comes and it's like, okay, this is our artist. Can you handle music orientation and the music? I mean, you sit down, you think how the song is supposed to be, what is the target population you want to attack with the song, what you're supposed to do, and at the end of the day, you design something for the artist. And so, with all this experience, it really gave me a lot of experience, to as an artist manager and understanding music careers, and also the fact that I listen closely. I follow other artists' careers closely to success stories. See a lot of things about people, go deeper than what people just know in the air. Reading books about from Bob Marley's tour manager, about touring with what it is like touring with Bob Marley. Getting all these backstories. Reading books about Michael, somebody working with Michael Jackson, writing a book, about showbiz. And so sometimes with these things you get a lot of personal things, and a lot of you pick up a lot of lessons. The realities on my own end is not the same, but I mean, I use some of these things as, okay, so this is how this person does. So if this thing is happening to me, it's not a surprise. I'm not the first person that is living this kind of thing. I've seen it with Michael Jackson. I've seen it on Bob Marley's career. I mean, all the stories. I saw this with Aretha Franklin's documentary that she passed through this and this. So the presets are out there. And you just take it, you customize it, and you put it into your system and see what are the things that you're supposed to do, because your own system is different. It's not like in the US, or it's not like in Jamaica. It's not like in France. So I mean, but you put all these stories together, and then you come out with something and put it out there. Sometimes you try, you fail, it doesn't work. You redesign, you try again. But at the end of the day, who is out there searching will definitely find something. Even if it's not exactly what they were searching, but they would find something.
Even if it's not exactly, because it's more. You see, they're thinking, and then they come and see more. They're like, what? You see what I mean, man? And as you say that, it just leads to how, when I saw the song and heard about you and Beyonce, I was like, what? Man, it's that kind of a shock that it shocks you, and that energy, like I like to receive it and also start hustling. It's really amazing.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's just I mean, projects like that is just a proof to show that you've been working. I'm sorry, guys, that are listening to us or following us live. I was out here doing sports, so I before, you see,
I still have my jersey. I just had to change so that I
Uh-huh.
don't look too sweaty or sweated up or stuff. And guys are still out there playing. You see.
Yeah, so we thank you, man, for
Yeah.
taking
So
out that time. Like, and like I
yeah,
said, it's like
I just.
freestyle. Here we just chill, man. We just chill and
Oh
try
yeah.
to chill. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You see, I'm still wearing my boots. I'm still having my football shoes on. So.
Bob Marley
Yeah.
used to love soccer. Like Bob Marley and
Oh
soccer,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Of course,
Uh-huh.
of course, of course. Yeah.
So there is a question. There is a question from Iman. So she says that,
Yes.
what is your favorite song you ever created?
Mm. It's going to depend on from which aspect I'm looking. But
Uh-huh.
as a singer, if I'm going to say one of the favorite songs that I've created as a singer,
Yeah.
that I would be proud to say I did that song. It's One Day na One Day,
Okay.
because
Oh, wow.
I think the singing delivery on that song is something off the hook.
Mashallah.
As a mixing and mastering engineer,
Yeah.
after producing the song, the mixing and the mastering, my favorite work, that my favorite mixed work for me, I have two favorites. It's Jamais Jamais of Mr. Leo,
Uh-huh.
and Comme Ça, which I did with Daphne.
Okay.
Those are my two favorite mixed work. As a songwriter, um, that is difficult to pick out, but
Yeah, yeah.
I think I have. It depends. It really depends on what
It's
the
like
song
asking, man. It's
is
like
like.
asking that, who is your favorite kid. You look at all your kids, you're like, what? Which one?
Yeah, you like everyone
Yes.
for something.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. And that's a long question. You think of it, you cannot answer it.
Yeah, it's really complicated.
Yeah, I see,
Yeah.
man. And then as I see like a whole mastermind and a hand. I see evolution. I see like a strategy as to do your stuff. Now on the human plane, you may have an idea, and those around you may understand. But if it's something that people don't understand, it looks like nonsense. You see, so
Mm.
how did you handle that? Because it's a must that you face it. You have a dream, you have something, you see the path, and you know you can't go alone. And as you're trying to go, the environment around you, to maybe not everyone can fit in, but you know that they need to. So how do you
Yeah.
handle that in all this process? And if you have some
Um.
experiences, please let us know.
Yeah. Personally, first I have to say to give a big shout out to my team. We're working right now, and some members of the team, like Bertrand, for example,
Yeah,
we've been working since 2015, and we built more than just a business relationship.
yeah,
We built up a friendship, and many a whole lot of other people that are part of my team, with whom I work. With whom I work, with whom I share my ideas and
yeah,
stuff. And I mean, some of the people in my team, like Bertrand, was not really a showbiz guy,
yeah,
but he came in 2015 during Fab Colo, when we started working on Fab Colo,
yeah,
and went from my social media, um, PR to he went from that to being my manager.
yeah,
So and not knowing a lot already in showbiz, but trusting, my experience and what I already knew. And so when we say, okay, let's go this direction, we go the direction, making our
yeah,
mistakes, him making his mistakes, and, you know, messing up once in a while.
yeah.
But we find a way to catch up, we get
Uh-huh.
our misunderstandings, we fight, but we at the end of the day,
Yeah,
what is most important is the work, and
yeah,
we make sure that we continue with the work and make sure that the work is where it's supposed to be.
yeah.
We learn our lessons and we grow together. So that has been my format of work. It's not like I went out there and looked for a super manager that has been managing
Yeah.
someone, one person or some other person. I mean, I just work with
I think we have some internet issues, but you'll probably be back. Yeah, so I think it's probably the internet. So Salatiel will be back as soon as possible. I'll I'll try to reach out to him and his manager so we could continue. But please hang in there. So for now, I'll just play some of the songs, so you all can enjoy.
Like Kilimanjaro. I'm a general. And I keep getting high like Kilimanjaro. I wanna touch the sky like Kilimanjaro. You're gonna want to see me sitting on that throne. I keep getting high like Kilimanjaro. Like Kilimanjaro. Like Kilimanjaro. Like Kilimanjaro. I keep getting high like Kilimanjaro. Smoking tobacco while listening to my new bango with some big black chick for back boy Ilikaco. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. It's a different kind of artist in the room. You're looking at a young black ambitious young king out of Cameroon. You keep us from head to toe, way to mango do. I high like Kilimanjaro. Fuck around and kill him as child, you know. Flow spectacular, flow so natural, far from the regular. Not trying to be popular, number one hustler. Africa representer. Check. I only started with a dream, a plan, and a vision. Then I transformed to a man with a vision. A man on a mission, a man with a goal. On the max, get set, ready, let's go. I keep getting high like Kilimanjaro. I wanna touch the sky like Kilimanjaro. You're gonna want to see me sitting on that throne. I keep getting high like Kilimanjaro. So high, like Kilimanjaro. So high, like Kilimanjaro. So high, like Kilimanjaro. I keep getting high like Kilimanjaro. Every day I split up, split it up, I split up.
All right, let's see. I will play Anita. I hope it's this one. Okay.
Oh, no, 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 no. General.
AfricanRepresented.
Mais pourquoi la vie était si compliquée? J'ai seulement aimé, vraiment. Je n'ai pas tué quelqu'un. Anita, mon amour d'enfance. Fille de prédicateur, d'une bonne morale. Elle m'a dit pas de sexe avant le mariage et on vivait comme ça. Pour notre amour, j'étais prêt à suivre ses pas jusqu'à la gare.
Oh, hey, Jules. Hey, shout out to Jules. Yeah, shout out to you.
N'oublie pas d'où tu viens. Oh, Anita n'est plus la même. T'es Camille, oh, Anita. One day you go cry, oh, Anita, oh. La vie c'est doucement, Anita, oh. L'odéo est mauvais, Anita, oh. Parce que tout ce qui brille n'est pas de l'or, ici dehors.
Hi, SB Comics. What's up?
Maintenant elle est partie, elle m'a blessé. Mais ce qui est marrant, c'est que si elle revient, je vais toujours l'accepter. Parce que je l'ai aimée inconditionnellement. Mon amour pour elle durera éternellement. Après quelques années, je l'ai vue. Faut voir ce qu'elle est devenue. Oh, Anita n'est plus la même.
You back? Can you hear me? It looks like you need to connect to audio.
Elle sait même pas qui l'a enseigné.
Oh yeah, let me ask you to unmute yourself. Yeah, just a second. I
Unmute.
yeah, right, great.
Unmute. Yeah.
Man, we're enjoying, man. This like Isaac said, man, big hand.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, man.
no worries.
As I'm driving home, I think we passed the zone where the connection wasn't that good.
No worries. And also, I mean, if you whenever you want to drop off, let us know too. We really appreciate your time and the lessons we're
Yeah.
learning. People are expressing their expressions over here on the comment section. I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun reading it, maybe now or later. So
Oh
and
yeah.
before I ask, before like we keep chatting, it's my in-laws, my sister-in-law's birthday today, Miriam.
Oh
So yeah, and she likes
yeah.
it, man.
What's the name?
Miriam.
Miriam.
Yes.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, Miriam. Happy birthday to you. Happy
Mashallah.
birthday to you, Miriam.
Mashallah. Thanks, man. Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
yeah, man. You're right.
Thanks, Miriam. Thank you. Enjoy your birthday. Take that energy, invest it. Go where you want. Enjoy. We'll see you on the other side. So anyway, man, and do you want to continue from what we're talking about? Like, how?
Yes, I
Yeah,
think I was talking about my team.
yeah,
So, yeah, it was a gradual process. It was a gradual process. And I have to say, for anyone that is maybe working or doing showbiz out there that is new in the field or something,
yeah.
do not think that, I don't know, because you see a successful album release campaign, for example, like Africa Represented,
Mm-hmm.
you think that that's how showbiz is supposed to be.
Yeah,
Before we get to the levels that we are, even
yeah,
though it is far from where we're going, but before we reach even these little steps that we have taken,
yeah,
we have had our own tones of mistakes, tones of errors, tones of trials, of failed trials. But the good thing is every failure is being an opportunity to learn.
yeah,
We fail sometimes at the level of promotion, branding. You try out things.
yeah,
You try this one, it doesn't go. You change the format, it doesn't go. If you want to achieve a higher height, it means you have to
yeah,
let go of some things from the level where you are.
yeah,
You have to let go of some things which you enjoyed sometimes even,
yeah,
but which you don't need where you're going.
yeah,
So it's a lot of trials, failures, and stuff. Of course, we're going to reach at the place where we're going to be working with professionals, which right now most of the professional people that I took into my team has become professional, over
yeah.
time. But
Okay.
right now, sometimes I hire some people that are good in one or two things, and to do a particular thing for you at every point in time.
Yeah,
So it's not always a bed of roses. You put
yeah,
out things people don't like, you find the next one which you're going to put out,
yeah,
or you find out how to put it better. You just keep moving. You fail, you try again. You fail, you try again. That's how I see life.
yeah.
That's how I see life,
Mashallah.
and that is how I see showbiz.
Mashallah. Thanks for that actually. And now it's making me to actually see
Yeah.
some of the strategies. Like, let's say most of your songs, they look well produced, from the choreography to the way people dress. It's a big leap, because like it shows work, it shows energy that goes into that. So, and then even cartoons, like you made this song, there was this song that was illustrated as a cartoon. Like, is there a reason why you
Yes,
chose to
vamos,
use?
yeah,
Yes.
vamos,
is there
yeah,
is
the
there always a
vamos
reason
cartoon.
behind those
Yeah,
dance
yeah.
moves? Is there always a reason behind the dance moves, the fashion, the everything? Do you try to pass messages in those sections? And please let us know what we don't know about that kind of a thing.
Yeah, I mean, every project that I do, has its peculiarity, you know.
Yeah.
Every project that I do has its peculiarity, and we try to, you know, to bring in every element to interpret the message that we want to pass. I take a video like "Good Girl," for example, my latest video.
Yeah.
When I listen to the song, I had the inspiration to do this song, listening to Bob Marley's "Steer It Up,
Yeah.
Little Darling, Steer It Up." I was listening to the song, and I'm like, we are missing something in our today's music, you know,
Yeah.
some simple, simple, good songs that do not have any complicated lyrics, that just appreciate how, you know, something simple.
Yeah.
That is the mindset I had when I was doing a song to like Ayagayo, you know,
Yeah.
just
Oh, I
something
love it, man. I
simple.
love that one.
Something,
You can use
yeah.
it
So
and
you
work
know,
out. You can
oh
use it
yeah,
and work
oh
out,
yeah,
man. Yeah, I love that song.
oh
Like,
yeah,
yes.
oh yeah. So I mean, I wanted to do something that simple, and the fact that this song I got inspiration from Bob Marley.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, the sound that I put around the song, you know, breaking that stirred up vibe, putting
Yeah.
it into a zouk, tropical Caribbean vibe, you
Yeah.
know, but still keeping the soft reggae and all of that. I really
Yeah.
wanted to do something that was going to be like, um, and bring back that old school vibe in the music.
Yeah.
So when we were about to shoot the video, I told myself, if I'm going to bring back that old school feeling, I
Yeah.
just don't have to keep it only at the level of the music, you know.
Yeah.
We can put it back at the level of the costume. So when
Okay.
I created the concept, the video, the storyline for that video.
Yeah.
So when I got the storyline, the first thing I told Keng is, Keng, this is the storyline that I'm thinking,
Yeah.
and I want us to backdate this video.
Yeah.
Let it go to the 80s, you
Yeah.
know. Let's bring back this 80s simple song, old school vibe, you know, with doo-wops and stuff. And it's like, okay, that is good, that is good. Then I'm like, okay, another thing that I would like us to bring on this video, I was the one that ordered for the costumes for the Money Haste costumes, which
Yeah.
we used. Yeah. So
Wow.
when
Yeah.
Richard was coming to Cameroon, I told Keng, look, the kidnappers of this video, I want them dressed in Money Haste, and we don't have any shop selling them here.
Yeah.
So I called Richard and I, please, can you order me 4 Money Haste Casa de Papel costumes? And then
Yeah.
I went with Dr. Keng. We called for the designer, the stylist, Brice.
Yeah.
He's a professional stylist
Yeah.
that has styled so many videos in Cameroon. So we called Brice Stars. I'm like, okay, this is what we want to do. We're doing a video. The setup is 1980s. We scroll through Google, you
Yeah.
know, looked
Yeah.
at some costumes. So you see that everything is really well calculated. It's not
Yeah.
it's not it by chance, you know. We
Yeah.
look at some costumes, we take some pictures and give it to Bree Styles. Bree Styles goes with these things and brings back the outfit. I
Yeah.
call Mola, my friend Mola system in France. I'm like, okay, costume, this kind of costume. She brings her costumes, we cross check it, you
Yeah.
know, and that is how it works for every video.
Yeah.
You create the storyline, you create the setup, you create what you want to be seen on screen, how you want it to be seen, you know. Most of the time, Dr. Keng always has a question, what do you want to sell in this video?
Yeah.
Some videos you want to sell style, you know, you
Yeah.
want to sell style, glamour. Some
Yeah.
video you want to sell storyline. Some videos you want to sell epic, you know, you want to make something epic, you know.
Yeah.
Some videos you want to sell musicality.
Yeah.
So you reduce the movement on the image and all of that. So yeah, it's a lot of things, you know. We really take all of these things in detail, into detailed consideration before we put them out there. So that's how the work goes, and it goes same with the music, even with the production of the music. What do I want to bring out with this song?
Yeah.
What feeling do I want the listener of this song, you know, to have by the time they are done listening to the song? Yeah. And so, or what do I want to showcase in this song? I want to showcase that Salatiel is a great vocalist. And the way of writing the song is different. What do I want to showcase? Okay, I want to put out a storyline that is really going to touch people. Then I reduce the singing technique, you know, going up and down, changing of melodies, and focus on the storyline, writing the storyline, making the words touching as they could be. Yeah. Or what else? I mean, if I want to do a song that is about dance, then I'm like, okay, so it means I'm going to cut down on the lyrics. I'm going to cut down on the lyrics. I'm going to cut down on I'm going to make the beat hit in a particular way, and then I just make people dance. So it's all about what you want to do, It's all about what you want to do and what you want to achieve. Oh, finally I'm back home.
I see.
Are they for video call? I don't need noise, I beg.
Mashallah. Man, I see, and it's amazing. And these beats too, man. Like when you say how to hit the beats, it's sometimes different songs that hit different parts of the head. When I hear the drums at the back, it's like someone is scratching my head from the inside. Those drums and the rest.
Mixing, that is all about mixing. After you do the music, you do the song. Even for doing the beats, it depends on what kind of song I want to do. I would say, okay,
and you choose the end. It's like, okay, I want to hit beside the ear at the top. So sometimes hit somebody there. Do you capture that?
I'm going to send this. Yeah, I'm going to send this guitar left, and then I will make this piano play on the right, so that I can have my voice in the middle, hitting me the way I want it. I want the voice in the middle of the head, and
That is funny, man. It always tickles my head. It's always funny. Like sometimes I start laughing. Like listen to this song, the way it's hitting someone's head at the top. It's really, really amazing.
Oh yeah.
And so it's really well calculated. Yeah, and when I listen to your songs, sometimes too, it's like flaws of songs that are playing, like different. Sometimes like an orchestra
layers.
Different.
It's like layers.
And they just do it together. Do you often?
Yes.
What is the process in like composing those? What is that process? And are you afraid when you mix something? Do you judge it? How do you interact with that work and yourself as you do that?
Yeah, I mean, I have with the experience that I have today, I have learned how to trust my instincts. Okay. In the beginning, when you start up being a producer, you doubt a lot, but the moment you do it a couple of times, a few times, and it works, sometimes even beyond expectation, then you learn how to start trusting your instincts. You listen to a drum. It sounds odd for that genre of music, but you just trust your guts and you're like, okay, I trust myself. I trust that what I'm doing is good and it's going to end up good. So I let it slide like that. I'm going to do it and I'll just let it slide like that. And I mean, you do it and people love it, then it gives you more confidence, in what you're doing. So my composition process is, it comes in different ways. Sometimes it comes with a line, sometimes it comes with a theme, sometimes it comes with a melody. I start dropping the melody, start putting the beats, and the moment I put the beat, sometimes I will stay for 2 days, or sometimes a month, sometimes a year. And one day I just put on the beat and I'm listening and I'm like, oh yeah, I think I'm going to write a song like this. And then it just starts flowing. Sometimes it's the song that comes, I record it on my phone. And one day when I feel like I want to do something new, I just go back to my phone. I'm like, okay, what are the ideas that I've dropped? Listen to the ideas, and the one that holds my mind, that sticks to my mind, I just go back on it and start working it in the studio and developing and trying to understand which direction I should take it to. So for me, there is no particular way in which I compose. It comes in really different ways. Some are very spontaneous, some are very calculated. Some are so it comes in.
Man, did you used to play games? Did you used to play games, Street Fighter, King of Fighters? You used to play that when you were growing up? When you say someone calculated, I just imagine like someone making it fatal. You calculate before you know what to give it.
You create the move sequence in your head, then you attack with it. You create the move sequence, and then you create options. You're like, okay, if I jump up, I give big food. I give big food. You block big food. Instead, for Igo, they expect say I will give big food for under. But I go instead give small food. By the time we want realize I don't give small food, I put the big hand. Then I continue for answering. So it's like,
You see, man, and people forget that you can use that in business. Like when your kids are
Yeah.
playing video games, they say that these kids are stupid. Or when people are watching anime. So those are
Yeah.
you're hearing how someone is using strategy. You meet someone like Rugal. If you're playing Rugal is strong, but when you learn that,
Yeah.
man, I have a way that I have to sample Rugal. That's when you meet Rugal. That's how you fight.
Yeah, you know, you could be playing with Rugal and you have the strongest character.
Mhm.
And instead of me taking Rugal to fight you power for power,
Yeah.
I'm going to use Choi, who is
Uh-huh.
a very tiny
Yeah, he's
character
like
and he'll
that
be
with the
jumping
small
all
hook.
over the place, you know. Yeah. So
Mashallah. And you have
yeah,
your
it's
set
all
of
about strategy.
characters. You have a set of
Yeah.
characters that you compose to do your magic.
Yeah, to be able to win. Yeah, I mean, and every character has a role. If you are using a guy like Clark,
Yeah.
you're in for close
Uh,
range fight,
uh,
which means you have to make sure you're always close to your opponent. If you're using a guy like Kyo,
yeah.
it's probably you could fight from far.
Yeah.
Fireballs and
Hooray.
stuff. So
Hooray.
it's all about yeah. It's
Yeah.
all about
Uh,
it's all about strategy. It's all about strategy. And if you don't know how to strategize, and strategy doesn't mean your first move works, the second move it's like, okay, if I give this first move it doesn't work,
yeah.
I'm going to try my second move. I will not make it as obvious. I'm going to make a small subtle move, then I will come with a surprise move from the back. It's all about strategy, and it doesn't mean it has to work all the time.
Man, sorry, but when you say that, I just imagine the players fighting. And if I'm playing someone like you, it may be hard, man. It may be hard to like sample you. But one day, man, when I come to Cameroon, I would like we get together. Maybe we could play Street Fighter, King of Fighter, or something
Yeah,
like that.
man. Yeah,
Or
no,
car racing. Yeah.
no, I'm an old school gamer. So, the arcade,
Yeah.
let's hit it on arcade.
Yeah.
I'm an old school gamer. I used to game a
I
lot.
mean, I remember this thing too, Dinosaurs, where you had Mustafa. So that was another one
Oh,
that has
Cadillacs
strategy.
and
Yeah,
dinosaurs.
yeah,
Yeah,
and the
Cadillacs
part
and
where you drive the
dinosaurs. Yeah,
car in the desert and you go, man, those games.
yeah. The fat guys and all
Hmm.
that. Yeah, I mean, I'm an old school gamer. I'm not into all the new school games right now because music took my head when that was becoming a thing. I
Uh-huh.
was already so much into music. I did not follow that,
Yeah.
but
They
I'm
make a
an
lot of
I'm an
money.
arcade.
People make money. My roommate in college, he used to play FIFA. So he loved FIFA. I
Yeah,
think in Boya too, with in Sponder's place, there's a time that everyone was going to play games there. There are people that play that
yeah.
professionally. My roommate was offered like hundreds of thousands of dollars because he won a competition. So he stopped school and he moved to
Wow,
California. Yeah, here in the
wow,
University of Maryland, he stopped school, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So there are people that do
wow.
that too, yeah, and they make a lot of money. You
Yeah, I
just play,
mean
you
that's it.
test the
That's it. If you're
games, you
doing
challenge
something,
people, yeah.
yeah, if you're the best in something, you're gonna make a living out of it. That's one thing that's sure.
Mashallah. Thanks, man. Thanks for that spirit. Now,
Yeah,
as a team, as someone growing a team, there was a time when I hope this does not bring some kind of energy in, but there was a time when you had an accident with your crew, and how
yeah.
did that make you look at life? Like, how did you start seeing life from that time? What did you come out of, and what did you learn from that incident, and how did it affect the way you see life today and how you move forward?
Well, I think one of the biggest thing that changed in my life is I am a person that sometimes, as much as I strategize,
Yeah,
one of the weaknesses you can have as somebody that strategizes a lot is you tend to over keep things, over push things over, because sometimes you want to have moves perfectly and stuff.
yeah,
And with that incident, I just understood you can go any day. It's like I'm saying in my song Kilimanjaro,
yeah,
nobody knows the day we go.
yeah.
So let me
Hmm.
just live my life. And I told myself, okay, henceforth, do not push what you have to do to today for tomorrow.
Yeah,
If you have something to do, just do it. Just do it, because you could go anytime.
yeah.
And yeah, you could go anytime. And what people are going to remember is not what you kept, which you did not show, but it's the things which you have done before you went.
Mashallah. And then
Mm.
as you now as a business person, and nowadays a producer, you know what it means process. You know what process means, and you love soccer, even dribbling. Like even if you play FIFA, like if you dribbling, those are all processes. You understand that, but the environment that you execute the process needs to be able to let you make those processes or execute them. So now, as you're in Cameroon and things are becoming unstable, both on the physical plane and emotionally, kids dying and stuff. How do you feel about those? And what are some of the things that you think we as people we should understand about the situation and how we can gain from it so we move forward? So people see that this is life that is happening. We don't have time to wait. You see, so what are some of those things that you think that we need to keep going so we can adapt?
Yeah, first of all, you need to know already as a Cameroonian, especially in the showbiz or entrepreneurial sector, you need to understand that you have to multiply every effort you want to put in by 10 to be fair. For you to even find yourself on point zero with other people that you're competing with, especially other people out of Africa, or out of Cameroon, if you are a musician, you need to know that if Wizkid is working 10 hours, you should work 100 hours because the system already is not favoring you. You're not coming in a system that is well installed, where things are normal, where people have already understood that they need to invest in music. Music is an investment thing. We're still talking in 2021 in Cameroon about 80-20, which is something that a lot of countries have already talked about it and handled it years ago and are building on that, and making it better for themselves. But we are still in Cameroon and we still have to fight to make sure that local music is promoted at its highest. And you are in a system where I mean, the system is not built for culture, It's all about politics and all the politics. And then worst of all, you're an Anglophone living in Boya, where there is a crisis going on, There is a crisis going on, which means if you're a business person and people have to, for me, who had a studio, people had to come from Cote d'Ivoire, from France, from the US to record in my studio, cannot even come because there is a war and they are afraid of the zone where you're living. So it means if you're competing against a guy that lives in Douala, that has a studio based in Douala, means you are already on a negative, which means for you to, So if that guy is putting in 10, you have to multiply your efforts so that you can even have a fair fight. So that is the reality of what we are facing as Cameroonian musicians and Cameroonian entertainers. The industry is still a baby industry, and trust me, we are not going to be the biggest of this generation. I think there's going to be bigger than what, because if not, then we have failed. If there are not artists bigger than us after this generation, then we have failed, because it means we did not put down the foundation very well. It means we did not put down the foundation. So we are in a young industry, and maybe when things are going to be fine, when I say young industry, there has been a lot in Cameroon before this generation, but this generation of artists is like an orphan generation that came out from nowhere, introducing something new to what has been, taking the old school, the traditional, and spicing it up with new sounds and stuff. So it's I would say it's a new wave, it's a new generation from what Cameroon has known before. But you need to know that if you're part of this generation, then you're part of a generation that has to understand this is the first generation that is actually doing music in a world which is more globalized. This is the first, we are part of the first generation of artists in Cameroon that are really using internet to as one of the major tools, for stardom. And so we don't have blueprints for what we are doing, we don't have blueprints for what we are doing, but we will learn from people that have been using these things before us, that understood before us. We look from them, we learn the things, because most of these things did not come from us. But we are living in this globalized world, and you're competing, your competition moves automatically from the old generation, where it was mostly about, okay, who's better in Deido, and there's another guy in Aqua that is also good, or there's a guy in Yaoundé that is doing good. Right now, it's like there is a guy in Tanzania who drops a song and is having 100 million views. You know, right now you're talking about a guy that goes for a show and is able to get $300,000, and those are the people you're competing against directly. That even your own people are listening to and are trying to compete to put you at in competition with these people. So the work is already double. But given that your system is still slow, you know, government is not helping, political climate in the country is not helping. Cameroon is fighting at least 3 wars right now. It's not helping the situation. Culture, you know, you think you've achieved the highest level of something you should be able to achieve, and then people snub it because they don't even understand what you achieved. They don't even understand the importance of that achievement that you just made. They don't even understand, you know, because it's part of a whole new world, it's part of a whole new system and a whole generation of things. So you're already on a disadvantage, you know.
I see.
So your efforts have to be double. That is why you are not going to see many videos or pictures of me balling, because seriously, I don't ball. I'm not a guy that ball. Even I go on tour, I barely go out from my house, you know. I go out and it's work, and I don't have time to ball, because I understand that I am working. It's like pulling a canoe up a mountain, you know. It's like you are in a canoe race, and everybody has their lane, but your own lane is slanted a little bit upwards. So if that person is using 100 kilojoules of energy, you should be putting 1,000, because that's the amount of effort you need to climb the slope that has been put in front of you. So that is our reality, and that's what we're living. That is why I say we are not probably going to be the richest Cameroonian artists. We might not be the richest. I mean, take for example Two-Face and even Rema, you know, or take Two-Face and Davido. You cannot, or Whiskey. The money that whatever money that Two-Face made, you can trust me.
They sound like characters in a game. Sorry, man. Sorry, they sound like characters in the game. Whiskey. It sounds like a character that you have to face. Yeah, I see. Sorry, continue, man.
So I mean, whatever Two-Face made when he was at his prime, trust me, for the same energy, Whiskey is making more in this generation. Two-Face is one of the lucky guys that crossed the generations, you know, that came from an older generation into the new generation. Luckily, he entered when internet started being something, you know, started being anything in Africa. But I mean, these guys are making more because they are coming into a system that is already installed. And that responsibility is on most of the artists of this generation. The older generation had done a lot musically, you know. When you talk of Manu Bangos, you talk of the Risha Bonas. We have a few legends to look up to. You know, we have a few legends. We have a handful of legends to look up to musically. But when it comes to the business, understanding the business, already given the fact that we don't have many Cameroonians in the top spots we don't have many Cameroonians in the music industries in other places that are really holding the prime positions. And that is going to happen, but it's not there right now. For example, Nigerians already have that. You know, a lot of Nigerians that can do networking, working in the top media houses, but I think with time, Cameroon is going to have more of that. But that is because Cameroon is still trying to understand, you know, we're trying to understand the new world, the new age, the new way of doing things. And we are some of the people that started showbiz just when having a normal Facebook account was just like normal, you know, just have a Facebook account. I started doing showbiz when we were sharing songs on MySpace and High Five, you know, which a lot of young people don't know now. And then today, the technology keeps advancing and advancing. And if we in this generation, we don't catch up, the next generation is going to come and pick up from where we left, you know, and still have to build and then start chasing again. So that is why I say you are already in a system that is that is backwards, that is slow,
Yeah.
that is having a lot of disadvantages. Other people have their own disadvantages, but these are our own. You count your disadvantages, and then okay, if I have to compete internationally and I have to touch the world, then I need to put in more effort than the normal person is putting in.
Mashallah, man, it's like digging a mountain with a teaspoon. You put a lot of energy to be digging. You have a big mountain, you confirm that. You need to work harder.
Yeah. It's not easy, it's not easy. Especially, I mean, you the artist might be advanced and understand some certain things, but the fans, the people that follow you, your primary market, they don't know anything about it. You post, I have been playlisted on Africa Hit or on the biggest playlist for Africa. And people here don't even know what that means. They don't even know what that means to begin with before start saying, it's a big deal. Or you say, okay, my album was for 2 weeks on iTunes on top African Afrobeat albums released. It was number 2 for 2 weeks.
Man.
Nobody talks about that because we don't even understand what is the meaning of that. That you see African albums, you see a Tanzanian, you see a Nigerian, you see Rick Hassani's album, you see a Nasty C album, you see, and then you see Salatiel is second on that playlist, and we don't even understand yet in Cameroon what that means. That's why those are some of the things that I say. It's like going against the tides because you could be advanced, but your primary market, your base and all of that is still slow in picking up and following you to even understand what that means in the music setup, in the music world.
Mashallah, I see. And thanks to that for pouring that experience out there. A lot of people will be able to harvest from this and know. I trust us Cameroonians. Sometimes we may take our time to do things, but when we want to do it, you see that Giselle Madama, Giselle Haman, that's my wife actually. Yeah. So she says, I know Top of Spaces, I know Top of Spaces is probably going to come to this. I would love to know how your experience was collaborating with Beyonce and Pharrell Williams on Water, and how it impacted you in your craft and personality.
Yeah, it was a great experience, and I learned a lot. I am still grateful for that collaboration because it thought, besides what it brought as normal impact, the talk around the world, having people tweeting from around the world, having, for example, financial what of Disneyland tweeting and tagging you and being like, this is my best song, who's this guy, how come I don't know him yet, having all that riot around the world. Last year I missed a couple of TV shows, important TV shows. I mean, when I talk of important, I mean the best TV shows that in the US. Having me for invitation, but the COVID situation making it very difficult for me to travel, to stay hanging on that, or sitting in Cameroon and having the New York council calling me for a show, or Chicago council calling me for a festival, or the shows that we had to have around that project. I mean, it was a lot of things that were going on around that project that changed a lot, and when you work at this level, you understand there is a lot of things that you need to catch up with when it concerns the music world. That is what I was saying. Like, we learn from experiences. You open new doors, you learn what's in the room, you get acquainted to the room, you move on to the next door, you open it and exploit, So that work with Beyonce and Pharrell Williams. The first thing it did to me was give me hope, and brought in some fresh air into my life as an artist and as a musician, because I've been doing all these things, and when you're doing something and what I'm doing is really good. But you feel like what you're doing is completely underrated, and people don't even understand how good you really are, because they don't even know what good is. They don't even know what is, Yeah.
That's funny, man. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, something happens that makes everybody all of a sudden be like, oh, no, this guy really has been good all the time. You know, he has been good from the word go. And then it brings in a fresh air just for you to understand that, okay, I have put out some work there. Some of the works passed and did not get the recognition that it was supposed to get. But finally, somebody from levels which are really up there. I mean, which are so in some of your highest dreams as an artist.
It's clear.
Yeah.
It's clear.
Yeah. Recognizes that work. Recognizes that work. Walks up to you and say, I want to work with you. And you're talking of one person in the project, Pharrell Williams, who has been my idol from the moment I started music, like an idol, like somebody that I watch and like, yeah, I want to be like this guy. If I cannot be like Timbaland, maybe I will be a Dr. Dre. If not, I will be a Pharrell Williams, a Cameroonian for of course, doing Cameroonian music. But that's the level I want to attain. Yeah. And then you have these people, you find yourself working until you get to that point where you're working with these people. You know, the people just tell me what's your wildest dream. And then tomorrow, if I don't know, you're a computer person, and then the next day, Mark Zuckerberg is calling you and it's like, hey guy, I would like to work with you. I would like us to build a new application together.
I know,
that's
man.
How wild the dream is.
I know, man.
You won't believe. But such things bring some fresh air, you know. It brings some fresh air into your life, and it makes you understand, okay, it means I have not been wasting my time. I have been working in the right direction, but it also brings a lot of pressure because you start questioning what you have been doing all along. Is it really what I was supposed to be doing? How do I keep up to this, you know? So if someone is asking me about what working with Beyonce is like, what it represents to me, that is what it represents to me. And it was a very interesting project and a good learning process for me too.
Mashallah. Thanks. I understand what you mean, man. Me coming to the States, I did computer programming and math in the university. So I went to University of Maryland. It's hard to get in. One of the co-founders of Google went to that school. So when I was admitted and the rest, I remember being excited. It's your dream. Like we see of MIT, Harvard, and stuff. You want to go there. You see what I mean? And then you come and you get there. Yeah. So I understand what you mean, man. Yeah. So there is a comment from La Reference, or let me say La Reference, that when I heard that you were invited on Jimmy Kimmel, that's IRC, that I think you said I was sorry, or maybe I was sad about the cancellation. So I didn't know that.
I mean, these are some of the things that I missed out on last year, you know. Radio programs, TV programs, having a tour, you know, having some shows and stuff. So but I mean, it's not completely, all is not lost. Because the work is still out there. AfricanRepresented is still an album which a lot of my contacts have listened, and I'm like, okay, this is good. You need to come around, you know. Let's do some work. Let's see how the COVID situation goes. Let's see what we can do about it and make sure that we put this out there. Good thing is your name is out there. We know you. You know, we know what you're capable of, and we know the levels that you've hit. So it's not going to be anything complicated, you know. So we were going to work back on that the moment we can, as soon as possible, and see how to grow from where we were left.
And I mean, nature is an engine for creativity. And that's how we humans even come to life. So even if things delay, it's still part of nature. So maybe by the time they want to come by, you'll be ready with big hand.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, things like that. Yeah, they happen, man. Yeah. And so Fonzie Leon is asking when you're coming to Africa Land in Deutschland, in Germany.
Okay, in Germany, I have a booking for Germany. I have a tour booking for Germany and some countries around Germany, Austria this year. But nothing has been confirmed yet because no one knows when the lockdown is going to be uplifted for real. So we just had calls. Even Chicago was calling festivals. Chicago was calling again this year.
Yeah.
I mean, a few people are coming back and hitting,
Yeah.
just say, okay, we would like to have you, but we cannot conclude because we don't yet have fixed dates and stuff, because we don't yet know
Yeah.
if by summer things are going to be open again.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. So Fondi, hope you heard that. And then from ST, and please, if it's a time for you to disappear like a ninja,
So yeah,
yeah,
I have
just
to
let
go
me know.
very soon because
Okay.
I have a radio program to. I
Okay.
have a radio program. What time is it even? I don't even know what time
For
is it.
me, it's 2:28, so that'll probably be 8:28 for you. Oh,
Yeah,
is it
it's
8 or
7:20,
7:28? Sorry,
Yeah,
seven. Yeah.
7:28. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I have to be going
Okay.
by
So
45. Yeah, by 45 I should be leaving.
okay. All right. So now then we could just take this question and then maybe round up. And man, like I'm
Yeah.
really grateful for this chat. And anyway, after this,
Yeah,
I'll put it out there. What are the indicators? This from ST and my in-law. And what are the
yeah.
indicators you have that make you know the impact of your music?
I think it's pretty much clear. We look at statistics. We look at statistics, and to me, the most important thing is growth, and growth in expansion,
Yeah.
having many more people listen to your work than were listening before. So if you stay as an artist in Cameroon and then you get a call from Beyonce, I want to work with you,
Yeah.
that is, I don't think you need any better indicator
I
than
see. Yeah.
than something like that, to tell you you're doing great. Or I don't know, you go to Nigeria and you visit an artist that has rock things in Nigeria like Ice Prince, and then he receives you and removes his cap and is sleeping on the floor like, oh, Baba, welcome.
Mashallah.
It's these are things that make you know that the work that I have been doing has impact. You have your people, you go to blogs, you open every Cameroonian blog, and by the time you read the last 5 posts, you see your name on something anyhow, somehow, anyhow. On every single blog, every single paper, every single news, every single person, or you release a video, and one of my most trending video, my biggest video in my career before now had been Anita, and Anita was doing 1 million views 1 million views a month. And then I released a song, Good Girl, and it gets 1 million views in 9 days.
Oh wow, that's
so,
like you bring it down the month, you divide it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right now, Good Girl is less than 2 months and is already on 2.6 million views. Anita was doing 1 million a month. So, okay, if I can do in 1.5 months 2.5 million views, which I would have done 2 million in 2 months. Statistics, you calculate numbers, it means many more people are watching. It means between the last project and this one, you've touched many more people. Sometimes the numbers don't interpret, but just maybe because you do a project where you focus on some particular markets and it comes slower. But by the time you come back to base, you discover, okay, I have expanded. And to me, these are all the indicators. I see today, and a few months ago, I got a call from Google head office in London, do a show. To do a show on a digital show, and on that show there was Richard Bona and some artists from London and all, a Black History Month show for Google. And in the process of doing that show, I talked with the CEO of Google himself, who is like, I know, I'm a fan, I know you're a producer. Then you're doing something, these are big indicators to let you know. If you want anything more than that, then I don't think what you want is realistic, because that is indicator enough. What you have to do is just put ends to put 1 or 2 things together and materialize it, change these indicators to reality and transform the reality to the money, to the fame, to the reach and all of that.
Okay. Man, thanks a lot for that. Let me drop down my last question and then we round up, please. So now with Africa Represented, since it's the whole process and the energy you pumped into it and how it spread out in the public that we're sitting here. So what is that album to you? Like, what is it you I think you know that maybe 10 years, the same like how you could read some spiritual text and reflect and time travel back to another time, that this album is something like that. And how is it to you, and what are those things that you have put on it that you know that in future when you come back it will recall you to or remind you of?
Well, I started preparing this album long ago, and most of the songs that I did, there are songs on that album that I composed in 2013, and you released them in 2020,
Yeah.
and they are still people are still dancing to it and enjoying it the way they are doing. Then it makes
Yeah.
you know you're doing timeless music.
Yeah.
It makes you know you're going to turn back in 10 years and listen to that same album the way it is,
Yeah.
and hit your chest and be like, I'm proud I did something like this. And I'm doing my best to promote the album despite the COVID situation.
Mashallah.
Not without possibility to move as much as I would like, but I wanted to, you know, if you have a child, then
Yeah.
you will know what it means to have your first child.
Yeah.
When
I
you're
do. I do.
expecting to, oh yeah,
Yeah.
when you're expecting to have your first child, and the feeling,
Yeah.
when the child is born, then you sit somewhere alone and you tell yourself, so finally I'm a father.
Mashallah.
That is how it feels for me, because Africa Represented is my first solo album, and
Okay.
that is exactly the feeling that I am having right now.
Mashallah. Thank you, man. Thanks for taking your time to also spread this energy to us. Please consider this space just like maybe some basement somewhere that you can always go in and hang out and just chill. Whenever you want to show
Oh,
up, please let me know and we can just sit and chat and learn from each other. That's the essence of it, so others could also understand. Is there anything
oh
you
yeah,
want to put
thanks.
out there before we go? That if we didn't ask
Well,
you or anything
guys,
that you
if I
want to
have to
say?
put out something, boy, your boy, the hustle, na hustle, the hustle. So the album is out there. I think the link should be on the comments, www.therealsalatiel.net/shop. Go buy the album, or go to Oxplay, buy it. You can, for those that are in Cameroon that are following us, you can buy with your mobile phone, Momo, or Orange Money. For those that are out of the country, those that are in the US, by the way, there
Yeah.
is a stock that is coming in from Cameroon to the US. There is a whole bag of merch that is coming in. So you can
Yeah.
just place your command and it's going to be delivered to you in a matter of hours or days, depending on how far you are.
Yeah.
But there is a stock coming to the US. There will be stock coming to Europe. There will be stock going to Europe. So, guys, the album is out there. Support your boy, man. I want to represent you in the highest level, but the highest level takes also a lot of high money. And I need that money to push this
Mashallah.
work.
Mashallah. Thanks, man. Thanks. May Allah in His 99 names who creates the world by speaking and spreads everything that happens around us. May He continue to bless you and your work. Amen.
Amen, oh, amen, oh, amen.
So bye, man. Bye. Thanks a lot. Thanks everyone for watching. Shout out to all those that